everyone, my name is Emily and I'm Grand Worthy Advisor of Washington, Idaho Rainbow. Today we are so excited to share some of our favorite Washington, Idaho traditions with all of you, especially centered around our Grand Assembly celebrations. We get to host our Grand Assembly sessions in a place called the Yakima Sundome. And for those of you who have attended our sessions before, you know what it looks like, but I'll go ahead and explain it. It is a giant stadium that seats thousands of people, and it looks like a giant dome in Yakima, Washington. It's very easy to spot once you're driving into town. We get to flood that place with all of Washington, Idaho Rainbow and just take it over for a 3-day long celebration of Washington, Idaho. Yeah, in Washington, Idaho, we have the pleasure of getting to wear hoop dresses as grand officers. So our dresses are very large. They are amplified by either 4 or 6 ring hoop underskirts. And so it basically makes us look like an upside down teacup is the best way that I can describe it.
You gotta make sure to float and it's heel toe, heel toe.
And then we have our other girls, our pages and our jurisdictional representatives, and they are all wearing straight dresses or they have a little bit of crinoline to poof it out a little bit. And all the dresses are super colorful. We have the Grand Worthy Advisor every year design whatever dresses that she wants to see as a way to represent the year theme. And so those dresses get to be unveiled at Grand Assembly, and it just adds so much color to the floor as you're looking at it.
Washington, Idaho Grand Assembly is very go, go, go. We do a lot of different things, so we start out and get there a day early and do a bunch of fun practices.
We do a bunch of business in between opening and closing. We do installation, we do initiation, we usually do a ceremony that the Grand Worthy Advisor picks.
There's a lot of energy and excitement, and everyone's so excited to do their grand office duties and also find out the next year's grand officers.
It's very fulfilling and so worth it. Everyone is so excited for all the bigger things like dresses, speeches, reports, talent even.
My favorite day of Grand Assembly is Friday night, where the Grand Worthy Advisor has her honor night and she gets to have this amazing float and everything in this dress, and it's so cool and really fun.
It's a really fun way to start and end the year.
Such a great energy that I love being around.
It's also a really, really fun chance to meet the other girls from assemblies across states. You know, I think that's one of the best parts.
Grand Assembly, Washington, Idaho is a place where you can make a lot of friends.
It's a giant party. We're all so excited to be there, and we love our Grand Assembly.
Let me tell you, Washington, Idaho gets hype. We are Hype Town.
It is always just just exciting. Like, you can feel it in the air.
Yeah, we get pretty hype. Everyone, oh my gosh, especially during appointments, everyone is so hyped. Just throughout the entire weekend, there's a lot of positivity and a ton of hype energy.
We have a lot of fun, and that's like one of the biggest parts of it is that we have music going. We do hype it up sessions where there are moments where we will all come out from the stands and we'll dance on the assembly room floor. We'll do the cha-cha slide, things like that. We'll be cheering and laughing. There's lots of jokes involved.
We have something called PMA.
Best prank ever to pull on your friends.
Someone will say, "Hey, how's your PMA?" And suddenly a girl has to stand up on the spot and say,
"Enthusiastic, I am feeling
G-O-O-D." And that's how we represent how excited we are. So apologies if Washington, Idaho girls travel to one of your jurisdictions and we cheer a lot. We don't know any different. We cheer all the time.
Pantaloon Parade. Talk about Pantaloon Parade.
Okay, Pantaloon Parade's pretty awesome. The Pantaloon part, oh my gosh.
Pantaloon Parade? Oh, my favorite time of the year.
The Pantaloon Parade is my favorite part of Grand Assembly.
So pantaloons are some fun, comfy pants pages and the grand officers wear under their hoop skirts or their crinolines.
They're basically like pajama pants, except we really decorate them to make them super fun and have them represent the year theme or maybe our office theme or something like that.
We have a Marvel theme. My group last year, we did the Tinkerbell fairies.
There's been light-up pantaloons. There's been character pantaloons. Sometimes you put them when girls are standing together, then they make a photo.
One year they did live fish and pantaloons.
We all get in a long line and we lift our skirts up and we run around the room showing everyone our pantaloons.
We're all vying for the coveted cup of like best overall, funniest, most appropriate to office. Bunch of prizes. They're very coveted. They're awesome.
It's a blast, and it's always one of my favorite parts of Grand Assembly.
This is my favorite song, okay?
Trees of the Field is the single best song that we sing at Grand Assembly.
It's already got a pretty fun vibe, you know, but we like to be a little interactive.
We are singing and we're saying, the trees of the field will clap their hands, and then everyone goes crazy doing a clap clap.
And all the trees of the field will clap their hands. We all clap simultaneously at that part.
So the new member gets to be welcomed by this incredible song. It is so in sync because it is all our favorite part of initiation.
Just, it's so fun because everybody claps, whether it's initiation in our own assemblies or at Grand Assembly. It's just everybody clapping together to the song. It's the best part.
And it's just a blast. That's really when the energy hits the high for initiation at Grand Assembly. In Washington, Idaho, we have the privilege of electing all of our Grand Line officers. So that is Grand Worthy Advisor all the way through Grand Faith. We don't move up at all. It's a new group every single year. And that is something that is so amazing because our girls get to work all year to qualify to be a voting delegate, which is a past worthy advisor, a current worthy advisor, or a current worthy associate advisor.
We do a luncheon and we really get to know the candidates and their plans for our jurisdiction. And I think it's one of the really cool aspects of getting to show girl leadership.
Hear from the people who are running about what they want to do for our jurisdiction, how they feel about leadership, how Rainbow has impacted them, what ideas they have. And then we all go into the session and we start casting our votes. And we go for a pretty long time until all the way through Grand Faith is elected. And those leaders are our representatives for the next year alongside all of the grand officers who are appointed later that night.
Ooh, my first Grand Assembly was, I think, if I'm correct, 11 years ago, because my first Grand Assembly was at Christina's in 2010. And I will never forget it. I didn't go with my mom or sister like I would normally do in later years. I went with my dad. My sister and mom were already there supporting their district at the time, having fun, whatnot. But I do remember walking in, wearing the district dress that we had, and meeting Christina for the first time, and that was my favorite experience.
My first Grand Assembly was Danielle Brunson. She's a past Grand Worthy Advisor in 2016. I remember looking at all the grand officers and thinking, wow, that's really cool, and I want to be that one day.
My first Grand Assembly was May Powell's year. Her theme was, our world is our backyard. Her mascot was a St. Bernard. It was very cute, and the colors were just absolutely amazing. It was such a fun experience because I was really expecting it to be very like mellow, kind of like what the meetings usually are. It was just so eventful and just fun, and it was like one of the first like experiences in Rainbow that I actually felt like I was a Rainbow girl.
My first Grand Assembly was Taylor Beale's Grand Assembly. It was Disney themed, like all these colors. The like biggest memory that I have was the Ferris wheel in the back. I thought it was the coolest thing in the entire universe. I was like, Ferris wheels, they're the best things ever. I wanted to ride on it. You could not ride on it. It was not that kind of Ferris wheel. I just remember it being so magical. I had just joined about 10 months beforehand, and I'd done ritual competition as mother advisor for open close team, and I was recorder in my assembly. So when I saw grand recorder and grand lecturer, I was like, oh my god, they are the coolest people in the entire universe, because they're my offices, or the offices I've done, but like on the grand floor and like older and cooler. I was just like, I want to be these people. Oh my gosh, it's incredible. And I did, which was really amazing because then I get to be that for other girls.
My first grand wasn't too long ago. It was the 2018 to 2019 Jenna's grand family. My first Grand Assembly was so much fun. I had been involved for a few years, but I had never gone to Grand Assembly.
and I was in the grand choir, so I met a ton of new friends that I'm still friends with today. And I was super excited about getting a new dress. That was probably one of my biggest excitements. But then just seeing all of the positivity and energy during, again, appointments and grand installations, it's really cool. And as a younger girl, it's really cool to see all of the new grand officers and their dresses and what they've been doing over the years and their report.
My first Grand Assembly was roughly 8 months after I was initiated, I want to say. It was my first Grand Worthy Advisor, so she was 6 years ago, and the theme was Believe All Things Are Possible. It was a Cinderella theme. I didn't really know what Grand Assembly was. I just went with my assembly because they said I was going to have fun, and I did. It was amazing. I was a part of the choir that year, so I got to attend practices and I got to sing and really show the Grand Assembly all about how excited we were for the year theme. I loved getting to see all the dresses for the first time and experience that Washington, Idaho hype that is so paramount in our jurisdiction. Going to your first Grand Assembly is such a unique and special experience, and I know I'm going to remember mine forever.
Definitely meeting everyone again. I'm gonna be honest, as much as I like being virtual, I love being back in person at some of these events, and Grand Assembly is frankly one of my favorites because I mainly just like how home the Sundome feels.
This Grand Assembly, I'm looking forward to so many things. I think just doing the ritual work, I'm super excited for. Doing our membership report. We do a new members luncheon. So the grand memberships and the jurisdictional membership team, which is the pages, we all get to have a lunch with all the girls who either are new members or sponsored a new member throughout the year. Grand line's usually always there, and it's a fun way to see how much our jurisdiction has grown over the past year and kind of celebrate that.
What I'm most excited about is the fact that, because I'm a grand officer, I get to see some of the parts that you don't normally see just in the stands. It's going to be a whole new experience for me, which is what I'm mostly excited about. That, and also just having to see everybody is just something I'm super excited about as well.
I'm looking forward to getting to do my knocks on the door as confidential observer.
I am looking forward to watching Emily cry. So Emily is our Grand Worthy Advisor, but she's also a very good friend of mine. So we have a lovely little thing going on as Gua and Gua. So I'm excited to do our little handshakes, but we've talked a lot about our closing addendum where all of the Grand Line officers say a part of a poem. And we're gonna cry a lot. But it's part of the experience of Grand Assembly is the reason our offices are so special, and the reason we enjoy our grand years so much is because we only have it once, and the idea that we have to give it up is so heartbreaking.
I have so many things that I'm looking forward to for this year's Grand Assembly. It will be my last because I am taking majority. However, it's also really special because it's mine. I have a podium book put together, which is basically this 200-page document about everything that goes on at Grand Assembly that the Grand Worthy Advisor is tasked with creating. I think I'm most excited to see everyone's faces when the dress reveal happens and to just celebrate all the hard work that the tenacious sea turtles have done this year leading up to that point.
People should come to Washington and Idaho because we're so much fun. There's so much great music. A Friday night activity, that's a good spot to meet a lot of girls, and you will meet a lot of girls if you come to Washington, Idaho Grand Assembly. We're all super eager to talk to you, and it's a lot of fun.
Our Grand Assembly is super big, which is always a really incredible experience. I mean, a couple of jurisdictions that I've been a representative of are not quite as big. So to be in a giant Sundome with all of these people, you get to meet so many people. I mean, it's a really great experience. There's tons of energy. We have dance breaks and selfie breaks, which are pretty fire if I do say so myself. There's nothing like your entire jurisdiction getting on the floor and doing the Cupid Shuffle. We have lots of other extra stuff at Grand, so it's not just for the Grand Officers, and it's not just sitting in the stands being bored. Summer showcase, there's games, there's fun, giant grand choir that sings, and it's just a really great time.
We've got some fun stuff planned. We got a lot going on. And if you saw ours either online or in person, you know how fun it's gonna be.
You should come to Washington Idaho Grand this year.